As you're singing those songs, God's given me a vision for a long time now. And I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. This is like just a personal thing, but I want to bring you into it. Because I don't know, maybe I'm not the only one who feels that. Okay. When we're singing these songs, like, where's one of the song sheets? Can I see it? Okay. Okay, let's take this one. Blessed be your name. Okay. I don't like church talk. I don't like it. Because it doesn't make sense to anyone else except people that are in church. And if we really believe that there's a God and that He made everyone and that He sees everything and that He loves you and that He's involved in everything that you do, everything, then why should we limit ourselves to the words that churches speak? The only reason they speak those words is because of tradition. There are other words that mean the same thing as these words that would make more sense to us.
So like if we played the song Chasing Cars, the love song, it's like God's love.
Exactly. I mean, personally, one of the ways I worship God, so to speak, if you want to call it that, is with secular music. I will play love songs and worship God to a love song by Taylor Swift. I do that.
How so?
That's what I do. Now, if you can do that.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We can definitely do
But
that.
the thing about it is that, like, we don't use those words. Like, I don't say to John, John, you look very holy today. You're like, oh, thank you. You look holy too. No, we don't talk like that, you know? And then, you know, we don't greet each other like, Jessica, blessed be ye. You know, no, we don't talk like that anymore. They used to talk like that, but we don't talk like that. Other words, glorious. Glorious name. What does it mean to have a glorious name? What does that mean?
Spartan.
John, your name is so glorious.
If you're Spartan, you murder 50 people in one battle, I'm pretty sure you...
John the Spartan.
So the thing about it is that I don't want to teach people about God that way. I don't. But I feel like I have to sometimes, because I feel like people won't hear me if I teach about God in a modern, like, using regular words that we use today in everyday life. So, but the thing about it is, this just occurred to me as we were singing today. This used to be Pastor Jeremy's, he used to be youth leader, and then it got passed to me and Luke. And during that time, the name of this youth group has been, look at all these nice markers.
Rubber banded and everything.
I know.
Is there something in that?
No, that's not. No, just, yeah. Used to be called Adam. Anyone know what that stands for?
Agua Dulce Ministries?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's saying, okay, we're in Agua Dulce and we're a youth ministry. What is a ministry? There's another one.
A ministry is kind
When
of
you have a bald spot in the middle.
It's a group. I mean, I'm not looking for a correct answer, but I'm just saying, see, nobody really knows. It's like, you know, I kind of get the idea, but it's a church word. It's a church word. You're not going to go to some regular, your boss or something, and be like, what does my ministry do today? Because ministries work, basically. But it's a church word. So I don't like church words. But basically what I'm saying is that this youth group was passed to me and Luke from Pastor Jeremy with all the tradition and all the, you know, Foursquare stuff and everything that's part of Christian and church background. There's nothing wrong with that. They still serve God and everything. But the question is, can we still love and serve God without a church building? Can we still love and serve God and know God without the word God? Can you know God without the word God?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know. I know what you would say, because John and I have talked about this a lot. But I want to share this with all of you guys. But the truth of the matter is that God is not interested in being groveled at. God doesn't want you to bow down and worship Him and glorify me. No, He doesn't. That's not why He made you. Okay? Yes, you're made to worship God, but what does that mean? Worship God. You were also made to worship each other. But no church will tell you that, because you don't know what worship means. Worship means to say to someone, you're worthy of my love. That's all that it means. And so you're first made to worship God and nothing else. And then by worshiping God, you worship everything else too. Because you say, God, you're worthy of my love, and so is everything you made. So, what I want to talk about today has to do with the vision that I've been given for this youth group. For our group. Not my group, but our group. Yes, God has happened to place me in this speaking position. I teach sometimes. I try to lead best I can. I'm not the leader though, He is. Jesus is our leader. He's my leader. I'm back there with you. See that empty seat? That's where I'm sitting. And part of what I want to do too is I want others of you to speak, because I believe that God has things to say through you, so that you can stand up here on Sundays and teach me what God has shown you. So, all this being said, before I go any deeper, actually no, I'm going to do that at the end, never mind. So I brought this today. Anyone know what this is?
It's a shepherd's staff.
Kill stick.
Yeah, it's a shepherd's staff. So no, what they would do with it is they protect the sheep. So if there was a wolf or something, they would literally beat the thing. They would beat it with it. They would guide the sheep. Maybe grab its neck, teach it the right way to go, things like that. But what's interesting is that we tend to think of God as a king or a lord or a ruler, right? Would you agree with that? We're like, oh yeah, how majestic is your name, blah blah blah. On high, your throne forever. What does that even mean? We don't even have kings today. Well, the thing about it is that in ancient times, they didn't have kings. They didn't have kings. When God first created people, you just had all these people. Just all these people everywhere.
In the church.
And there were no kings. No kings. No one's better than anybody else. Everyone's equal. You're all people. So the question then is, how did kings come to be? Well, what would happen is that people would be endangered by wild animals or by famine, hunger, whatever, and somebody would be better than everybody else at taking care of other people. And so they would say, oh, you're so good to us, you're like a shepherd, because they would shepherd sheep. So they said, you should be the shepherd of us, and we'll follow you, our shepherd. And so basically in ancient times, the first way what happened is that the kings or the shepherd protectors of the people, and there's actually literally translated, if you go to an ancient document, you'll find this person, shepherd of the people, basically means king. But it means that they're the protector. The only reason they had the staff, it was the symbol of their authority, was because they took care of everyone. It wasn't because so they could be bowed down to or worshipped or better than anybody else. But then as time went on, there started to be this idea of divine right. Oh, the gods put this person in charge. This person is God. This person is God. So then they started being worshipped because they thought that they were God. Here's an interesting question I asked, though, thinking about all this. Why would they say, oh, this person's God? Why would they look at a man with a shepherd's staff who's taking care of people and say, oh, look, God?
Because he's acting like God.
Exactly. So, with that being said, God has created you to hold this staff, okay, so to speak. God has created you to be a king, to be a ruler, to be a shepherd of people. Every one of you. You're shepherds. And not just of people, but of this entire world. Genesis, I know you've heard this verse before, but Genesis 1:26 through 27. It talks about God making man in his image. So what does that mean, to be made in the image of God? Well, first of all, you have to know what the word image meant back then. And in the Bible, the word image always refers to those statues they would make and worship. Like idols, God said don't worship idols. That's what an image was. It was an idol. And so what they believed then, with the idol, I keep losing my markers, is that, let's say you build an idol of, I don't know what animal, I suck at drawing, but let's say it's an eagle. And, you made this idol.
He broke his wing.
I know, right? He broke his wing there, that's okay. And so, you made this idol. And you would make it, and why did they do that, though? Did they just worship a statue? No,
There's
that
a
wasn't
metaphor for worshiping whoever.
right. What they actually believed. This is also why they built temples. Like, we have temples, and Israel built a temple. they believed that when you would build a body, a form, or you make a form of some sort of animal, or even a human or something, that the God would come inside of it, and then he would basically come alive inside of this thing, and there would be just unity between these two things. And then when you worship the statue, you're actually worshiping God. So the image of God then, the Bible tells us that we are then the idol of God. That he made us to come inside of us and be one with us, so that we're his body. He didn't create us to make idols, he created us to be his idol. So what I would say to an atheist, if they ask me, hey, why doesn't God exist? Because I can't see him. They're thinking man in the sky. I'm thinking, you don't understand. God doesn't exist because he has no body. Nobody. No body. Because you were made to be his body. And if you had him in you, then people would know God existed. They wouldn't call it God, because God's just a word, but the greater reality that is God, that is love, that is life, that is everything beautiful and good, they would know it because he would be in you. In the Bible, the word for love is agape. God is agape. And this word came from a word. It also, by the way, agape is also linked to a word, agathos, which means good. So good and love, both these words, came from a word, agon. And agon means much stuff, like having lots of stuff. So love and good, having lots of stuff. This came from. But this word came from our Hebrew word for love, which is also in the Bible, which is a have. And this word brings us to this phrase that we use all the time today, I have. So to love something is to own it, in the truest sense of the word. And what this is telling us is that really, you can't really love somebody in the real sense unless you have them. You can desire them, you can want them, but if you want them, you don't have them, do you? Do you want what you have? No, not really. You have it. You enjoy what you have. You love what you have, you enjoy it in the fullest sense, but you don't want it because you already have it. So God says then, not I love you, but I have you. And even further, I want you to have me too, because that's what love is. Have in the sense that you own him, but in the sense that you take care of what you own and you show that you truly love, that you have him. But I'm telling you a lot of things that people aren't going to tell you, because they're still stuck in this mindset that thinks that God's like this king that's up here and you're down here. No, God in you. You're his body. So for those that truly come into intimacy with God, they have him. I am yours and you are mine, he says to them. I am yours and you are mine. Why does crap happen in life? Because crap makes things grow. That's why people put fertilizer on plants. It smells horrible. It's poop. It's literally poop from an animal's butt. But it does make things grow. Makes no pun. How have I come to understand this? Because I had nothing. He took away everything. Life sucked. Crap happened. And I realized something. There's nothing good except God. So I said, please, God, I want you to be my everything. And so then I met him personally, so I know him for myself. I don't need the Apostle Paul to tell me that God exists, because I know him for myself. And by the way, this is not God, although it's treated like God. So you should know God regardless of this. I'm not saying don't read this. But your relationship with God is like a part 2 to everything that happened here. The story's still going. You're still the body of God. That's what you're made to be.